It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Bucs and the Niners, and it comes your way next.
We are about 40 miles or so south of Candlestick Point at a place that first opened back in 2014 as you get a look at Levi's Stadium here in Santa Clara, California. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the San Francisco 49ers. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it. It gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
Joe Montana here going to the air on first down. Well, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is going to be caught in one-handed. Wow. Touchdown, 49ers. A great play there. 85 yards. And the Niners have taken the early lead. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we could at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went through that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump. And he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. So here the Bucs backed up to start their initial drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Off the play fake, Johnson. And his throw is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Johnson. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Operating from the gun, Johnson. And down he goes, the 49 get there. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Looking to throw. Johnson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw. Johnson. And a throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down to the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Coming up on a 2nd and 6.
They will look to throw. Montana. Pressure comes and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down.
56, Mike, 56, right there, 56.
Montana. Under pressure, they got him again. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
Now, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
And it appears that this was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job, because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield, and he got there and put his man on the ground.
It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Johnson on first down.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Throwing again. Johnson. Complete. It's Johnson. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. On first down, Pittman, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
He'll be stopped shy of the 45 despite a great move. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for third down. Looking to throw. Johnson. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech.
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, 49ers. A great effort there. 89 yards. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly for 6.
And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
Yeah, and this is one of the best runs you'll see. A lot of times on these long touchdowns, you'll see he gets into the end zone untouched, but not here. He fought his way through contact, and it barely even registered, and he just continued down the field all the way to the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact and the next-gen stats.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Buccaneers offense ready to rock and roll again. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
They'll run on first down. Pittman, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Johnson now, off the play fake. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Johnson. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On second down now, Pittman. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. Muscles him off. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 28.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On first down, Pittman. Oh, he bowls over him. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Back to throw. Johnson. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0. Here's Johnson on 1st and 10. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And the Niners are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdowns. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
On first down, Montana. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness, it's been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and trying not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again. Johnson got his man complete over the middle. That's Williams. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Looking to throw. Johnson. That's complete to Jurevicius. And he is going to have the Bucs first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Again, he'll drop to throw. Left side and into the hands of Jurevicius. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Well, A second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Tight defense there on third down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range, no sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. They'll look to throw again. And he comes back with one complete. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Back to throw again. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A great play there. There to make the grab. And the Bucs are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. Well, the Niners going back on offense now late in this first half. And with a 7-point lead, they'll likely look to take this to the locker room and not really press the issue. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That'll be caught by Rice. His second catch. This one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Second down and 7. And this time they'll just keep this on the ground. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. So we've hit halftime here in Santa Clara with the 49ers out in front. As we send you due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. touchdown ball game. 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports. Fielded just outside the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. And they do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
Now Johnson throwing on first down. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play, because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Back to throw. Johnson. He finds his man Johnson. 7 yards the pick up there.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be third and about a foot or two. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll keep it on the ground. Pittman. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Johnson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage. Well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Back to throw. Johnson. Flushed out right. And he's going to go down again. Calling a loss of 5, a good sack to bring up 3rd down. What a dimension this man brings to this defense. He had his mind set there that he was going to get in and make that tackle. He really flew to the football.
Yeah, this defense as a whole has really been flying to the football all game long. They have not allowed too much of anything, and here's another example. A great play there to get in and disrupt it before it could get going.
7th play of this drive coming up, and a long way to go on 3rd down. From the gun, Johnson. Finding the open man, Jurevicius. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded just outside the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And they've got the lead here getting late into the third quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Craig looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now Montana. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
Yeah, they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Bucs on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Operating from the gun, Johnson. That's caught by Jurevicius. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
And here we are in the fourth quarter. You watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. Johnson. He gets this one to Johnson. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
Johnson to throw on 2nd down. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 15-yard line.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively, but they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He gets it left side to Johnson. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2. Back to throw. Johnson. Forced out to his left.
Well, to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know. I kind of admire him not sliding down there, don't you?
I'm with you on that one. The meter definitely leans towards admiration.
Looking to throw. Johnson. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. A great effort there. There to make the grab. And the Bucs have taken the lead. They're quite the comeback here. They have erased that deficit, pushed themselves out in front now here in this 4th quarter.
But this game's kind of felt like a horse race, hasn't it, partner? Because, yeah, the other guys run out to their big lead, but then slowly and surely, they've been creeping up and closing that gap. Now they've stuck ahead in front here late in the game. The finish line's not far away. They need their defense to finish this thing off.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 17-14.
49ers, 14.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
56, the mic, boys, 56. Check 56.
To throw is Montana. Got his man. It's Williams. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
56. I got you. I got you.
From the 24, Montana caught by Jones.
The tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Montana to throw. He finds Taylor, complete. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 34-yard line.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. To throw again on 2nd down, Montana able to find Jones. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
They'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He's been quiet all afternoon. He may have just come up with a play of the day right there, though.
Obviously, it's not the volume in what you get done. It's the quality, and that was a quality catch right there.
Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. He'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Rice. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
The 49ers moving hastily. They're scurrying to the line. He's back to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Craig. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the 1st down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as you understand where they are on the field?
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. He's going to flip one out here to his running back, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty, no question there.
You don't think they spend a couple seconds mulling over what the penalty
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Extra point attempt here still to come. It's up and good to make it 21-17. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it's capped off by the late touchdown that puts him out in front here in the final minute of the contest. kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. So now the Bucs down by 4. At time, a huge factor. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. Back to throw. And this one is incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Second and 10. Back to throw. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. An extra DB for the 49ers now on third. Back to throw. Johnson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score a touchdown. Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for nickel package and worked out.
It's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
Extra point attempt to come here. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Back now comes Tampa Bay. They can't do much at this point, partner. This one is going to go down in the loss column.
You don't make up for what has happened during the game. In this sequence here, maybe hand it off, let someone run the ball if you so choose. But otherwise, just kneel down, call it a day, and try and prepare going forward.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Throwing after the interception, Johnson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game.
Johnson now looking to throw on second down.
And that nearly intercepted. It's incomplete. Now, remember, he had a pick earlier, but couldn't reel that one in.
If this offense can't get it done, they'll think back to just a few plays and say to themselves, this was a winnable game, and we let it get away. Still a chance to save it, but time's definitely running out.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Looking to throw. Johnson. Throwing right, and that's complete. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. Here's Johnson on 1st down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. And Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.